appreciate seen a lot of y'all in person, especially this book. So really appreciate the opportunity to truly in person and everybody other than on the Zoom, where you pick here half the time or whatever. So excited to get it going. This has been an unbelievable past year for all of us. Hope everyone is healthy and feeling good about getting back to doing what we all want to do with our jobs. So excited about our team. This is that time of year where there's always a lot of enthusiasm for every team. Same here. For me, every team is like one of your children, if you will. They're all got your DNA, but they all have a different personality. There's always makeup. It's fun to see them grow and mature and develop. And this team has really done a good job since January. We've got a good makeup. This is a very experienced team. One of the more experienced teams we've had in a while. We've been a really young team the last 2 years. This team has a bunch of starters back, a bunch of starters, and a lot of lettermen, tons of lettermen. So I'm excited about that aspect of it. We also have dynamic young players, dynamic new guys just getting here, some really talented second-year players that got some experience last year. It's been a really good offseason. Guys have been about their business. I think there's been a great appreciation of the opportunity to have a normal offseason, train, train. We all know unbelievable challenge for everyone. Our team, from a health standpoint, is in a really good place. And we're thankful for that. So we've got a couple more weeks here, another week and a half or so with the guys. And we'll be cranking it up. We're in our program meetings right now. Obviously, got some media stuff here today, Thursday, and then a little bit of recruiting this weekend. Finish up our program stuff next week as coaches and players coming in. We'll get this thing going. So just excited about the team offensively. We've got a lot of key guys back. This time last year, are going through the season. 3 of our best receivers didn't really play all year. And we're very optimistic about that group. It's probably as talented a tight end group as we've had since I've been the coach here. And even though we don't have the production to go with it yet at running back, I think this group has a chance to be really special. From a talent and competitive standpoint, I love the makeup of this group. Offensive line last year, our first group played a lot of snaps, in a crazy year, and really only had 6 guys that felt like could really go in for us. A combination of just inexperience and being young. We recruited really well to that position. I love the development that I've seen, and I'm excited about the depth that we're going to have there. Our quarterback position, obviously, DJ got some great experience last year. Tremendous young player. He's hungry to go be the guy. Go do it. And I love that. I love that hunger that's in his eye. Tyson, good news on him is we're going to get him back. Additionally, tough injury. He's been phenomenal with his recovery. So we're going to get him back sooner than later, and certainly back before the season is over. It's big for us. Obviously, we have Bubba and Will. Certainly, if we get both of them, like one of them made it, we're going to be in a much better spot. So this is a state champion quarterback, great athlete, he's a wrestler, great professional baseball prospect as well. So this is a winner. that's coming in here and a great athlete. So that really helps us out. And then the development of Hunter, Billy Miles coming in here, also a state champion quarterback from Virginia. Really excited about him as a young prospect. Turned down several Division I offers to come in here and take a shot here at Clemson. So I like where we are today. Better than where we were in the spring game. Last time I think we met, we're in a much better place. And very optimistic. Part of that is again where Tyson is right now, and kind of where we think it's going to be. And then defensively, it all starts up front for us. It's been a couple of years since I can say that we've had this type of experience and depth. It seems like the last couple of years we've been really young, really inexperienced, kind of throwing through the fire a little bit. And we've got 7 guys back that have started in the defensive line, and that's an exciting thing. So hopefully we can get a little lucky with that help. We've got 5 guys to be in that we consider starters, all starting, all can win at a high level. And then Tyler Brzee inside. Those guys, Tyler's going to be a third-year player, Brzee a sophomore. All those guys got some wounds and scars and thick skin and have been through some battles and really have a lot of football knowledge. So I'm excited about that. And a guy like Rook, I think he's right there. He battled with injuries last year, getting the team back. Darnell, Payne. We just got a really good group inside. So just like our depth, I like the experience of the depth, the functionality of it. And then we got everybody back at linebacker, and then some. Getting Nolan back, Sanders healthy, Joseph, Jalen, Ray, Venables, all those guys. RJ, we've just got a lot of guys that we think can play. Some of these young guys have a chance to get in the mix too, like Makula, like Nate, who really played well for us in the spring. And then I like the 6 guys on scholarship at corner. These are 6 good players. One young guy, Nate, again, had a chance to go through spring. Love his potential, but I like the experience of that group. And what I've seen from the commitment standpoint. Got our punter back, got our kicker back, got our whole battery back. So this is a team that on paper is got a chance to go compete for this league. Compete, win this league, and we have a chance for other things. So, we got a team meeting this afternoon, and I'm excited about getting those guys and seeing them finish strong. Academically, they've done a great job. We got the highest spring GPA we've ever had in history around here, and that's a sign of good focus. Good leadership from these guys. It's been a great summer as well, as far as what the guys need to do accountability-wise and the issues. And I think the staff has come together well. CJ being the only change on field, and it's just been exciting to see him and watch how he's just like a fish in the water, just a natural. And it's probably the most changes we've had. It is the most changes we've had probably since 2011, maybe 10 years or so, as far as just new people, new roles, in our support staff areas and things like that, because of some opportunities for guys at different places and so forth. It's a good group. We got started yesterday with our all-in meeting. Had a great first day, and kind of getting everybody on the same page and ready to attack this season. Any questions?
You just mentioned CJ almost a full circle kind of feeling for you with that put him to be kind of the first 5-star to kind of get the tool jump started. And now he's out there recruiting 5 stars to keep you guys on the top.
Yeah, it's just awesome. I mean, I'm old enough now to all these guys can be my kids, and you meet them. And I've known CJ since junior year in high school, and just watching the whole process. All these guys. I think we've got 22 former players on our staff in various roles, whatever it may be. Of
coordinators to position coaches to ball journey, strength conditioning, whatever it is. We got a lot of guys, and we got some more. Bill Connor came back. Bill's been going. He was on my first team in '09, my first senior, one of those first senior leaders. He went on and played about 8 years, and had a great pro career. And he was coaching high school ball in Delaware. And he's back getting his master's and transitioning to the college game. He's been gone. I haven't seen Bill maybe once in 10 years, twice. He's been living life and doing his thing. And now to see him, this version of him is really cool. Tosh Boyd is not an official guy for us, but we hope that will be somewhere here soon. And he can be a part of our staff. How cool is that? Danny Dozen, and to see him, the 30-year-old version of Tosh Boyd. A lot of life, a lot of degrees. That's super exciting. He's married. He's lived his life. He's achieved everything he's wanted to do, and to see him now giving back. Artavis turned down a pro career. I mean, he could still be playing right now. But he wanted to start this next chapter, and he wanted to do it at Clemson. He got a chance for him to come in and be our grad assistant receiver coach. And so he couldn't wait to do that. And so it's just really cool. Those guys bring great perspective. Cole Stout, is back with us. He's 6 years of coaching experience. All those guys are part of the DNA and the bricks and mortar of the past 12 years. So it's exciting to see. I just got to be here, but I want to be here, and the pride that they take the program and how we do things, the influence that they have on these young players. So it's exciting. Isaiah Battle is coming back. USS Battleship is going to come back and graduate. He's going to be in our Tiger Trust program. I think he's 30 now. He's certainly the 30-year-old version of him is very different than that 17-year-old version that I met. And that's a great conversation to have. And that's what I love. That's my favorite part of my job is seeing transformation and seeing young people grow into great men and be equipped to, go live a great and productive life. That's the best part of my job, and then just being able to watch that kind of a summer of season. It's never gets old.
Coach Shaw, baseball program. All your players vaccinated right now, or how are you managing that?
No, they're not. I wish I could tell you we're all 100%. We're not all vaccinated, but we're in a good spot, heading in a good direction. And, I think a lot of these kids, as it gets closer to the season, and I don't know that they really have any fear of missing out on anything. And I think there's more motivation for all these teams as they kind of get back going in all these sports. And certainly that was a very unfortunate situation. I got back to March. I'm grateful and thankful for that. I mean, I'm thankful that we have that option. It's not last year we had that option. There was no option. You just had to manage the best you could. But we're just done everything we can to educate and provide great information, encourage these guys to talk to all the doctors. That was the biggest thing for me. I don't know a single doctor I trust that I talked to that, said don't get it. They all said you need to get it, and I trust my doctors. So it's a decision everybody's got to make. We certainly have, I think, done a great job trying to educate and make it available and all that type of stuff. And again, our team's in a good spot. Not quite where we need to be, but I think we'll get there.
How much of that messaging is playing time and possible impacts on games because they're not going to be rearranging the schedule?
Yeah, I don't really think. I think they know. I mean, I don't really have to message that. It's just kind of it is what it is. Like I said last year, everybody had to mitigate. And now there's a different option. They don't have to do this. They don't have to say, okay, well, I'll just reschedule this game and it's working. And they didn't reschedule that World Series. So you just miss out on opportunities. I think everyone knows, especially what we covered last year. I mean, we had coaches miss, we had players miss, and it was really, again, nothing you could do about it. You did the best you could do. You just did the best you could. But you can mitigate that away. That's a different option. So I think our guys, they get that. They understand that.
Do you have a Dustin Ross?
Yeah, he's doing great. He's hopefully here the next day or so we'll kind of have the process complete as far as all the legal and all the. This is anytime you have a complicated medical issue like we have with Mike Williams and so forth, there's always a lot of eyes and a lot of T's and a lot of people that have to sign off on those type of things. So that's kind of where I think it's at the finish line. Very optimistic about that. He's great. I mean, he's had a great summer. There's nothing he doesn't do. He does all the lifts that everybody does. He does all the running that everybody does. He does all the training. So he's really in a good place, and we're hopeful that he'll be able to get back out there and do what he loves to do. And but again, first and foremost, we want to make sure that medical people feel like he can go play and be safe.
What it is, Pittsburgh, what did they say? Can you tell us?
No, I don't think I'll get into the specifics of what the doctors say and all that. We'll just kind of wait until we get the full report and the full process over, and then we'll talk about it.
What role would realistically see him have?
Oh, super excited. I mean, this is a really good player, and he's going to be a quarterback for us. And eventually, I think he will. Eventually, long term, I think he will end up playing slot for us, being a returner and a lot of different things, and just being a dynamic guy. And he'll always have his hand in the quarterback spot for his whole career. But for this year, we're going to train him and build a foundation. Because he can do it. I mean, this is not a myth. This is a guy that he can play his whole career at quarterback. But I think for us, again, it's just one of those things that you go back to 18. I can't remember who asked me the question after the spring game. One of y'all asked me if I've ever been in such a dire quarterback situation. I said, man, y'all got a short memory. I don't know if y'all remember 2018. We had Trevor as a freshman, and Chase as a redshirt freshman, and Hunter Renfro was our third teamer. That was pretty dire. And Will Spires was our fourth teamer. So we're way ahead of that game. But I learned a lot in that, especially with kids transferring and things like that. I mean, you better have a plan. But Will's a guy that 3 years from now, all of a sudden you need a quarterback. He can go play quarterback and have a foundation of it. As Hunter, we were behind the eight ball a little bit because he was an option quarterback in high school. And so, ball handling, zone read and stuff, things he had a little bit more of a learning curve. Whereas everything we do is very natural with Will. And he can throw the football and he can do it all. He brings a lot to the table. It's a different dynamic, a different dimension at the position. And I think he will bring something to the table for his career. There, but always kind of give us that guy in the back pocket that if we get in a bind, here's a guy that could go win. So he's we're incredibly excited that he's here, and so is mine. We got some great young players. It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Will turned out a lot. I mean, this was what he wanted to do. This was his. He grew up and he wanted to play at Clemson. He wants to run down the hill. He wants to play for the Tigers. And he values this experience. He has a wonderful family, and he's excited to have him as part of it. expected. You know, and they've done that. Good, the bad, the ugly, you name it. He's got a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of life experience.
Yeah, but where's the fine line between wanting your guys to get, their fair share of something out of a division like this, and yet it not, especially during the season, be a distraction in the pursuit of that?
Yeah, I think that's going to be everybody's individual decision. I think that's one of the unintended consequences. The intentions of it are very good. I think it's great that guys can go work. I mean, there's just a lot of common sense to it. Again, you want to go back to your hometown and have a high school or kid camp. You should be able to do that. And there's a lot of those things that make a lot of sense, but there's some unintended consequences that'll come along the way. There'll be some silliness along the way, but it'll eventually settle out. It's fine. Figure it out there. These are young people. Young people can be emotional and rational, and then you throw money in there and just hope that everybody can stay focused. But that's our job, is to help them, navigate, educate them, equip them, and help them. Our purpose of our program hasn't changed one bit. It hasn't changed anything. So we've got to continue to do a good job of helping them achieve the goal, like we've done we have 98% graduation rate here. 9 out of 10 years, top 10 academically. Us, Duke and Northwestern. We're the only school in the country, 9 years in a row, top 25 in football and academics. So the mission of our program has not changed one bit. We've been doing Paul Journey for 12 years. We're not trying to, we got to figure out a way to, we've been doing this for a long time. This is just another one of those tools we have to help them acquire and help them navigate, because there's going to be a lot of questions. We can't facilitate, we can't coordinate. We can just educate and help them navigate, make sure they've got the tools they need. There's laws, there's taxes, there's things like that. I worked all through college. There was never a day that I didn't work in college, ever. I was either cutting grass, umpiring baseball, or cleaning gutters. Did that all through college. I didn't have any choice. But I never went to Coach Stallings and said, "Hey, Coach, I'm gonna miss that practice. I got to go clean these gutters today." I will be there. That was, so the biggest thing is making sure they know the rules. Because there are rules in place, and they're transparent. We provide them with great resources, and it's on their time. It's got to be on their time. Hope that that doesn't become the focus, because it's very short-term money, and it's, hope the short-term doesn't become the focus on the long-term value of your education, your experience, your development. But that's certainly a potential consequence for some kids. But hopefully, we can do a great job as a program in helping get on track. Kind of having the bumpers on that. Some of y'all needed some bumpers on that bowling lane out there. But, it's kind of our job we all know what the target is, to make sure we got the proper bumpers on the lane. They get that way every now and then. That's our job, to help navigate, keep them on track.
Dabo, after the NIL came to be, a lot of people were resurfacing the post from you knew about whatever the players get paid. How do you react when people start saying that when that was so long ago?
Well, first of all, we live in a world now where not everybody does much research. You go in that room and you hear somebody on the phone in the third stall, and that's your source. Just call it like it is, and that's the headline. People hear what they want to hear, and then unfortunately, a lot of people write what they want to write. That fit the story that they need, and it's just not accurate. I've never had a problem with things like I think it should have been more. I would not. If I'd been the czar, I'd have done it differently. Because I don't think everybody's going to have much opportunity. Some will, but not everybody will have opportunity, I would like to see the type of graduation, education. 1.7% of these kids go to the NFL. That's fact. 98% of them are not going to go to the NFL. So, I would strategize a little differently. And, I didn't get a vote in that. It is what it is. And the other fact is 80% of NFL players in 2 years being done are bankrupt and divorced. These are mid-20s to 30-year-olds. So now we're kind of moving this to. So, my goal, what I have always valued is education, graduation, and the development process as a man. That's my passion. That's what I've always valued. And so, what I said, whatever that was, I still said, I'm against professionalizing college athletics when we get away from collegiate modeling the value of a degree, the value of an education. And that's never said against name, image, likeness. I think it's a lot of common sense. I think it could be more. I think it could have been tied more to the education process. So everybody would have more opportunity. But I said that whenever it was, people hear what they want. So I just laugh about it. What else you gonna do? I guess I should sign up for Twitter, and I could be one of those people, and I could just go back at everybody, and spend my life, correcting whoever's putting crazy information in here. It just comes with the territory, but you know what? It just means we win. Because if we weren't winning around here, nobody even talk about it. That was awesome. I was telling you, we signed 3 people I never even met. But Cooper, not only I met him, he'd never even been to Clemson. He tried to commit like in August of last year, and I wouldn't let him. Coaches are all mad at me, and I'm like, look, the kid he's never even been here. He doesn't. And I kept thinking it was going to open up, like maybe in October they would open up, and kids come into games, and then all of a sudden, okay, he's committed, and then now he wants to go visit everywhere, and I was like, let's just see what happens, and then finally, I guess it was about October when they said, all right, they're not going to close till January. Kids supposed to come to school, and I'm like, well, I said, Andrew, you're going to be my first ever guy ever that I've never met, and you've never been here to come be a Tiger. What an awesome kid. Literally, so the first time I met him was in January when he got here with his family. I'd never met Bubba Chandler, ever. He'd been committed since, I guess, April of 20 maybe, and then somewhere in that range. And I met him when he came in for our camp this summer, the work camp. First time I met him. And just never met Nate until he got here. So just a crazy experience. You felt like you knew him. Thankful for the Zoom and the technology that allowed us to still kind of be connected. That was a unique experience. But a great group of guys. Mid-years that came in, did an awesome job academically. We had the highest spring GPA we've had ever, and those guys did an awesome job. The guys that came in this summer, it's good to see them get off to a good start.
With some of those systems say this was the most physical spring that there's been since they've been here. Would you agree with that? How did that kind of come with that?
I don't know about that. I think we just kind of. I think it was physical aspect. There was a lot of competition. A lot of veterans, a lot of lettermen, a lot of guys, again, competing opportunity. We didn't really structure practice differently, but the intensity was definitely the way you'd like it to be. I think we got better and made a lot of progress. He's great. He's great. That's about what I thought it'd be. Crazy. That's another thing. I don't get a vote. I would like to see that different, because again, young people make emotional and irrational decisions a lot, not all the time. But, and now you throw in, you've got name, image, likeness, you've got tampering, you've got no reason for pause, no consequences. Grass is greener, and it's really not. It's grass is green where you water it. And I just think that again, there's some unintended consequences there as well. I think there's a lot of schools that aren't going to sign high school kids. There's a lot of schools that are just going to sign transfers because now the transfers they got to be down. There are consequences, right? So now they've already transferred, so which I don't understand that. Like, why is it a one-time transfer? I mean, can you not? You only screw up one time, like make a bad decision, or a coach can only pack up and leave, or only one coach can be mean to you, or whatever. I mean, why does it matter? I think it's crazy. I mean, there's so many kids in the portal and not enough spots for them. So again, I think the intention is good, and I agree with allowing everybody to be able to transfer. I just personally would have tied it to education, and I would have tied it to, okay, you can transfer anywhere you want, anytime you want, but you sit here. But guess what? When you get to your senior year or your graduation, you get that year back, so you don't lose anything. But it just creates a little bit of reason for pause, because I think we may not all agree on a lot of things. Probably don't believe in half the things I say. Surely we can all agree on. We probably thought differently at 22 than we did at 18, and process things differently, as you mature a little bit. And things aren't usually sometimes as we perceive them as young people. I've got 3 sons, and I know this: the insurance for 23-year-olds is a lot different than it is for a 16-year-old. There's a reason for that. It's called judgment. The judgment is different as you get a little older, a little more mature. But it's about what I thought it'd be. It's just crazy, and I think the intent is good. Again, a lot of unintended consequences will come about. I mean, again, if I wasn't at Clemson, I wouldn't sign a high school kid. I'm Jeff Scott at South Florida. I ain't gonna sign a high school kid because if they're good, somebody's just gonna take them right off your roster. But if you go sign a bunch of transfers that fit what you want, they're there. Now there are some consequences. So it's just, I don't think that's good. I think there'll be some dynamics that'll come about that'll create some consequences not everybody foresaw. But I'm not against anybody being able to transfer. I think that's great. No reason for pause, with NIL, with agents, with tampering, with you name it. No consequences. It kind of leads to no conscience.
And the lowest likelihood of Justin Foster would be that. What are you going to need to see from him leading up to the start of the season? You know he's going to get.
I've already seen it. I've already seen everything. See, man, he's an old savvy dog. Man, that guy's a tall player. He's in a great spot, great shape. He just don't mind saying that. It was a great call. I didn't expect that in May. The funny thing is that I told him in January, I said, "Why don't you just wait till May?" I was like, "What's going to change between now and May?" Today, and but he just ready to move on, and and then all of a sudden, time May rolled around here, and he's gotten out in that real world a little bit, and he's feeling great. He's like, I want to play. He said, "Can I still come back?" I said, "Yes, sir. Come on back. We'll take it." That was a great call, and I'm excited for him to be able to finish the way he wants to finish. And he's just such a leader. He's one of the most respected guys on this team. He's one of the strongest guys. This guy's strong, and he just brings a ton of experience, to the position to go on. We have 5 starters now at the end. So it's a lot like that 2014 team. When we rotating Shaq, Vic, and Corey, and Tavares, Don. We had all them guys. Dan Brooks sitting there. He's got the only guy that had really separated was Grady. And so then it was like, okay, well, who's going to run out there first? Is it DJ Reader? Is it Carlos Watkins? Is it Deshaun Williams? All the guys, is it Josh Watson? Who is it? And I never even knew. A lot of times, who was running out there until they ran out there. Dan would, I think he'd stand up and watch how they walked and tight walk before he'd make a decision all the way to the pregame warm-ups. Who was going to run out there first? So Justin brings up. I mean, that's just like I said. It's like having Skowski back, Nolan back. It's incredible to have that type of experience and leadership and commitment on that side of the ball.
Yeah, but was there any thought of allowing official visits in the summer with people not being able to be on campuses as much? And then by not doing that, how much do you feel like that's going to help come the fall when y'all are able to still host all those visits?
No, there was no thought to that. We just, again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just our philosophy here, or my philosophy, what I believe in. And I think we've done all right. We've done okay. So you just believe in what we believe, and we have our process. Like everybody has a process in the way they do things. To each his own on how you want to do it. But for me, kids that are really interested, they'll come see you. And if they're not coming, they can't come on their own. They're probably not going to come for 4 years. And for us, it's just been something. I mean, it's not just this year. It's been, I don't know, 4 years. However long it's been that you could do official visits. I just always believe in doing that in the fall. And so that's just what I believe. It doesn't mean I'm right. That's what we believe here. That's what we do. And done okay with our process.
Dabo, do you ever worry about maybe the kid that wants to come on official visit, but they simply just don't have the funds
Yeah.
to get here?
Yeah, well, they can be patient. We'll bring them in. When we get to that time. I mean, we've done that. We've had guys like that. We do official visits, but we just have a time that we do that. Again, some people do spring practice in February. Some people do it in April and May. It's to each his own how you want to go about your business and run the program. That's what we do. Yeah, I mean, that was done back in April, or not April, February. But there's always a process, board and all that stuff, and but it's good to finalize that. And, he's pretty much been on a 5-year deal every year, just renewed, had the year back. And, he's so deserving. He's just done a phenomenal job. He turned down a major head coaching job this year. Stay here. He was not the highest paid assistant in the country last year. He was right there at it. There was, I think, actually a couple guys ahead of him. So he's the highest paid assistant out there, and I think he has earned that.
Tyson, do you have a timetable or a target date that you're hoping
No,
to have?
no, just whenever he's ready. But I think, like I said, he's doing great. I mean, we're very optimistic. He'll be back sooner than later.
But you guys continue to be tight end, getting so much talent there. You guys have a good season in 2019 before his ACL and kind of been lost and stuff. Going through that, do you think he can really pick up where he left off?
Yeah, I mean, he's a putty guy, He's tough, fullback type guy, brings a hard edge to the position. But you got some elite guys in front of him, pure tight ends. He's a little bit of a tweener, but he fills a niche for us and brings something to that group that makes us better. And there's no question. He's a hard-nosed football player. He brings a hard edge that will be useful in certain situations. glad to get him back, get him help.
It looks like they're pretty serious now about their 12-team playoff. Your thoughts?
Not surprised, and you know, I mean, I'm not for it. I wasn't for the 14. I don't know. Right. But we just got to keep on keeping on. So yeah, I was back when you asked me before. I'm like, oh, not for that either. I love the college game. You know, I love it when it's a big deal to be top 25, top 15, top 10. You know, win the bowl game. Yeah, a couple teams over here might. Somebody's gonna be the national champion. I mean, it's 130 teams. You know, so I just always loved that. I knew that when it went to 4, it was going to become all about the playoff. When it goes to 12, it's going to become more about the playoff. But that's inevitable. That's just is what it is. So you know, some people say, well, yeah, well, you've been in the playoff. We can get in with 4. We're going to get in with 12. Our odds aren't going to go down. So it's not about that. Our team isn't for it. You know, I met with my team. Our team wasn't for it. They don't want to play more games. To be honest with you, I don't think this 12 team's good enough. Play more games just to play more games. And I think the more you expand it, the less important the season becomes. And again, the more you become the NFL, as far as, all right, oh, you're in the playoffs. Well, I played Trevor in this game. You're already in. Just play the other guys, you know. And the more all of a sudden now not in the top 12, kids just aren't playing. I mean, I just think there's again unintended consequences. I get it. I know why it's happening. It's going to happen. I mean, there'll be some. I don't know if it's 12 or whatever it be. I think the bigger question is where's college football going from a structure standpoint? You know, I think it's a 40-team league. You know, I can see. That might be kind of fun. But you know, with 130 teams, one trophy, you know, it's not like basketball where you get 2 or 3 guys and stick over here and get hot and make a run in a tournament. It's a different deal. You know, this is a game built in the trenches. Not enough big, strong men in that offensive line and defensive line, you know, to go all over the country to have many teams that have a shot at winning the national championship. And to me, it was never really about that. You know, in college football, it was about the experience. It was about the team. It was about having the best season you could have. I always appreciated that, but it's just not where it is now. It's going in a different direction. You know, just tell me the rules, and we're gonna go and we're gonna have fun with it. So I think it'll be a different experience. It'll be you know, fun as well, but there'll be some things that some people aren't going to like. You know, as a result, it just comes with change. But as far as I'm concerned, maybe we'll just get whatever the rules are. We're going to get our team ready to go play and compete. It's 12 teams. Hopefully, we can compete and be one of them. It's 25. If they break off and have a Premier League, and if you don't do well enough, you get relegated to the other league. You know, I don't know. You know what they do in soccer? You know, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have a 40-team Premier League, a 12-team playoff, and stink. You get relegated to the other level or something. I don't know.
But the blocking experience is just one vote. I'm sure you guys are requirements, but discuss it much with them.
No. You know, again, I don't have any rules. My job is coach the team. You know what? Tell me the rules. Are we got 12 team, 14, whatever it is. My job is to get the team ready to play. You just asked me a personal question. I had a preference. I wouldn't have gone before, but that didn't work.
Sorry, the background also says players are not in favor of a 12-team playoff. They favored 6 or 8. Players are ready expansion.
The commissioner had asked us to want players input. I didn't really know what players were saying. They get much enthusiasm. But these teams, our guys have a lot of experience playing 14, 15 game seasons. So all the season, now you talk about starting in July, adding games, playing games, and, or taking games away from teams, take things away. You know, you've got teams that deserve to play. You know, they're not getting to play. They're not going to be a playoff team. They're playing this game. So it's just, it's a complicated adjustment for everybody. But there's a bunch of smart people working on it. They'll figure it out, come up with something good for everybody. But I think that's the biggest thing from the player perspective. From there, especially from our guys' perspective, things they got a lot of experience. And, they have a very good perspective of the schedule and what it takes. So that was just their initial thoughts. Again, good change. People change, people evolve. There's things because there's not clear. But once there becomes more clarity and we say, hey, here's what it's going to be. Maybe the guys say, okay, well, we can do that. I don't know. But that was just the initial gut reaction from our team.
You guys have a game. You guys have a game back on schedule for start 2019. How excited are you about doing that rivalry and that side of JV that at USC?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was something we all missed last year. Disappointing not being able to play that game for everybody. Players, for fans, state. So that's a long standing game, and there's a lot to everybody involved. So I'm glad that we can stay the course and get back to playing a full schedule. I'm happy for Swinney. I got a ton of respect for Swinney. I've known him a long time. Once he's in South Carolina, I think also I don't like it. I compete against a lot of places. He's a great person. He's a great coach. And, he'll do a great job. Excited for him and his opportunity, and look forward to competing against him. So, again, just because that's your rival. Man's got to have a job, right? And there's a lot of people don't like me because I wear a Paul. But I got to go to work and have a job, and we should all want to do a good job, wherever we work. So it doesn't make me not like Shane Beamer. Like I said, I love his family, great respect, his mom and dad, his wife. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, but you've got a lot of projects coming up here. You're looking at it as a necessity, or more like if you're not staying ahead of the round, you're losing ground?
We've been here 4 years, and we're blessed because we have space. A lot of places don't have space. But when we built this, we had a long-term vision. And I don't think you're ever going to arrive. I think that can ever. We're always building. We're always under construction. That's kind of the mindset that I think you have to have if you're going to be great, and if you're going to sustain, being great. But just like anybody, you live somewhere for a while, and you're like, I need to redo this bathroom, or toilet don't work anymore. Whatever. Well, I need to put a fence up. There's a lot of things you want to do when you first get there, but maybe you're like, well, maybe we ought to paint that garage floor. So we're just settling in, and as you live somewhere, you kind of figure some things out, but we're just making it better. We're always learning. We're always growing. When we put the little barbershop in there, what did we learn? We didn't have our room for the barbershop. We just, we had to make it better. And that room was too big. We made it a little smaller. We moved Milt's office, moved him upstairs, better fit up there. And man, the wellness and the prehab, dynamic movements, physical therapy, and the applied science, all that stuff is how it has grown. To have the right space. It's like a men's spa back there with being every day, and we're out of space. So we're fortunate again to be able to have a space we can build in, extend the castle. There's some things we've been needing to do. We haven't done anything in the indoor since 2012. We need to create some storage area. We need to redo the turf. There's there's several things in that project that we need to get done. We're going to build a space for name, image, likeness. You know, the Clemson Athlete Branding Institute. I'm going to call it the CAB. You know, because what does a cab do? It gives you a lift to your destination, right? But guess what? You got to pay the toll. You know, we can't do it for you. You know, you got to pay the toll. You got to do the work. And so we're going to build a great space just outside the weight room over there. Really excited about that because it'll be a living, breathing space. It's stuff we've been doing forever. Just like the Paul Journey, we built the Paul Journey space. You know, we've been doing it forever, but when we came here, I was like, I want a space. And so, you know, things change, things evolve, and so you have to adapt as you go along the way. And so this is just helping us continue to, you know, live that out right there. This is the standard.
When they had your Thomas, I think he tweeted out like that, 265. He was looking to drop weight. You feel like that's a good weight for him? You feel like he's in a really good spot right now?
It was like 290 this time last year, and couldn't run, couldn't practice. He was in a bad place. You know, he had issues with COVID. He had, you know, couldn't train, isolation. Then he had strep throat. I mean, it was just a really tough thing for him. And so he was so far behind, you know, and just physically. And then when you're not where you want to be physically, it affects you mentally, and it's a challenge. He's in a great place. I mean, that's right. That's the ideal spot for him to be. So hopefully he's had a great summer. He's had a great since January. I mean, he has been like a man on a mission, and it's been awesome to see that. Hopefully he can have the type of year that you know, he wants to have. We want him to have. We know he's capable of having. But I'm excited for him and that whole group.
Obviously, your challenges, but what has he done to kind of help them hold in on that talent and develop and, you know, that big numbers and games?
I think the biggest thing is evaluation and getting the right people in here. You know, I mean, Street's done a great job, and then just the process of development at the position, you know, how we meet, how we practice, so structure of our practice is a challenge. I mean, you don't just get to go out there and on the scout team, go against the scout team. We're a lot of good on good, you know, when it comes to team pass, 7-on-7, and 1-on-1s. You know, you don't have a lot of room for error on our practice field. And so to be able to have that is a great resource because it allows you to really coach them at a high level off the tape. And then, you know, but it goes back to the mental makeup and evaluation process. Like, who's coming in here? What's their love of football? What's their love of preparation? You know, all those type of things. Street's just done a great job. You know, that whole development process going through, and kind of meet them where they are, get them where they need to be. And DJ is just another example of that. Just a brilliant football mind, incredibly gifted kid mentally, gets it, loves to prepare. I mean, loves to prepare for the game. You know, I tell the story. I don't know if I told the story or not. I got the call from Dan Poole last year on Thursday before the Boston College game. And Trevor tested positive and wasn't going to be able to play. And I'm like, oh my God. It's about lunchtime, and I took a deep breath. So I went and called off the staff room. I could tell something wasn't right when I walked in. I was like, I said, Trevor's out. And I said, yeah, which means he's going to be out next week too, going to Notre Dame. So it was just kind of like, oh boy. And I told them, and then I said, look, I told Streeter, I just talked to Trevor before I walked in. I said, I'm going to call DJ. I said, I want to sit down and talk to DJ. He said, well, Coach, he's in the quarterback room. I just saw him in there. And I'm like, really? So I walk in the quarterback room, and got his phone right there. He's in there, you know. He's the backup, you know, but he's in there as a true freshman, and he's by himself, and he's watching tape. He's preparing to go play Boston College. And I just think that's all you need to know about DJ. I mean, you know, he was preparing to start the game before he even knew he was going to. It takes a special little makeup for a young guy. But that's, again, he came all the way from California here to back up trouble for him. He could have probably started at 127 schools as a freshman, but he really valued who we are as a program, and he really wanted to come and learn. And I just think that tells you his mental maturity at a young age. So a combination of the development process that we have in place here with Street, the job he does evaluating these guys, what they get exposed to in practice every day, how they're challenged. That's been a good combination for us.
Outside of Justin or short range and Joe,
Yeah, everybody's in a good spot. You know, Bo had a little foot issue right at the beginning of the summer. He's doing well. That's a position I'm excited about. Like I said, three of our best players didn't play. I mean, Ross and Ghana and Latson. I mean, they were. I mean, just couldn't catch a break there. So it was a crazy year that year, but that way. But hopefully we can be a little lucky, and our depth is totally different. The development of a Joe coming on, Bo and Dakari, and those guys are going to be rock stars. And I haven't had a chance to see Troy yet because he wasn't here in the spring, so I'm excited to see him once we get out there. But it's a really, really good group, and I'm fortunate enough to get that number 8 back out there. That ain't going to hurt us either.
take 2 to the mark.
Both. I mean, he'll do both, just like Marcus Tate will do both. We cross-train those guys all over the place because you just want to get the best combination of guys. I tell you what, Dietrich and Marcus, and Tristan Lee, Linthicum he's the small one of the bunch, and he's a giant of a man himself. Those 4 guys are about as good looking a freshman group as you're going to see in the offensive line. And really, really thankful that Ryan and Marcus was able to go for spring. So excited to see Dietrich when we get out there. But those guys are cross trained. Again, we got to figure out who's the best 5, who's the next 5. Maybe moving a guy to get the best. There's all kind of things you got to look at. But he's capable of playing. Not everybody's capable of that. You're not going to put Bachhorst out there and tackle. You're not going to ask Trotter to go out there and play tackle. Not that they wouldn't give you all they got, but that's not what you're going to ask them to do. But we've got several guys that could play inside and outside, and I think that's the type of versatility that you like to have in offensive line.
Take 2 more. What made it as you take he was here? Do you feel like you have a backup right now that can be that guy where you need someone to call backup? But with Tyson, like the start of the season?
To be determined. That's what we got to go spend a month of camp figuring out between Hunter and Will and Billy Wiles. Good news is we've got three really good young prospects right there. I feel great about the season as far as Tyson goes and getting him back.
You obviously knew you were going to transfer somewhere, but wasn't surprised that it was Georgia that you went to.
No, they're a great program and do a great job defensively, and it's a good opportunity for him. I'm just happy that he's in a good place and has an opportunity to finish up hopefully strong. Love BK, wish him all the best, man. Every game but the first one, I'll be pulling for him, and really want to see him do well, and hopefully he'll be able to achieve all his dreams the way he wants to.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you all in Charlotte on Thursday.
I don't even need to go to Charlotte.